So machine tool is a device, right? Removing the material, removing the excess material, the power operated device or system of devices in which energy is expended to produce jobs of desired size, shape, and surface finish by removing excess material from the blank. So basic process of machining is removing the excess material or maybe unwanted material in the form of chips. So whatever the material we are removing in the form of a chips with the help of cutting tool, right? Obviously cutting tool, and this cutting tool is moving front and back on the workpiece, right, on the work surface. By doing this, we are removing the excess material. The function of machine tool is also the basic functions of machine tool. So this is a definition of machine tool, and what is actually functions it used to perform. The basic functions of machine tool basically produce geometrical surfaces like flat surface or cylindrical surface or any kind of uneven surface or maybe any kind of contours, whether maybe elliptical, parabolic or hyperbolic, whatever the different shapes or different geometries are there. So all kind of geometries can be produced on by this machine. The basic function is producing the surface in the and on the workpiece, preformed blanks by machining work with the help of cutting tool, right? So cutting tool we are inserting in the machine, and using this cutting tool and using the other attachments, we are removing the excess material. So removing the excess material and producing a geometrical surfaces is the first function of any machine tool. And in addition to that, it has to hold the tool also, right? Hold the tool as well as hold the workpiece. So this machining or removing of material is only possible if it is properly hold the workpiece or properly hold the tool in its proper position. So that also it's a basic function. So one is generation of surfaces or contours. How it's generating? By holding this workpiece as well as a cutting tool in proper position. Not only that one, even it has to give the power to that one. So not only holding, it is rotating the workpiece as well as rotating the tool. So depending upon the machine to machine, so somewhere cutting tools are rotating, somewhere machine workpieces are rotating. So if you take on lathe, in lathe normally what happened, workpiece is a step, workpiece is rotating, workpiece is holding between the jaws and it is rotating, and a cutting tool is considered as it's a stationary, right? Cutting tool is stationary and workpiece is rotating. Whereas if we coming to a milling machine, it is quite opposite. So milling cutter is mounted on a armor, right? So that is rotating, and the workpiece is stationary on the table. That maybe we can see in when we're discussing about these the different kind of machines. So three purposes are there for any machine tool. One is it has to produce contours or surfaces, whether it is whatever the size of the surface. Second one, it has to hold the workpiece as well as tool. So third purpose is providing proper motion or nothing but providing proper energy to these workpiece as well as the tool. So these are the three basic purposes are there. So second itself is mentioning to hold the tool and workpiece, give a relative motion by power supply. So coming to the physical functions of a machine tool in machining. So physical function, what it is doing, first one, it has to firmly hold the blank and the tool, right? So it is properly hold the workpiece and tool. If it is not holding properly, when it start rotating, there is a chances of removing this because of when we rotating the workpiece or rotating the tool, because of vibration, because of other thing, maybe possibilities are there. Your workpiece or maybe your tool can come out from this holding devices. So it has to hold properly, firmly grip in this holding devices. So firmly holding the blank and tool, and second one, transmit motion to the tool and the blank. So depending upon the requirement, so it has to rotate the workpiece, and it has to rotate the tool. So depending upon the machine to machine, it may vary. So transmitting motion to the tool and workpieces. Even if it is you take in the lathe, the workpiece is firmly holding between the jaws and it is rotating. But at the same time, tool is, we assuming tool is a stationary. For time instant, maybe tool is stationary, but tool also is moving. Once cutting is done at one position, it has to gradually it is move forward, cutting tool. So cutting tool is assumed as the stationary at particular time, but actually it is moving also. Parallelly it is moving. But the motion of cutting tool is very less compared with the motion of workpiece. And also it's provide power to the tool and as well as the blank for the machining action. Whatever the power is required, that is transmitting through this machine tool. And also it has to control the machining parameters. So it has to give the power, it has to hold the workpiece, it has to rotate the workpiece. At the same time, it has to that rotation, whatever the power is giving, the power is controlling the rotational motion or nothing but speed. So these speed has to control. So controlling of the machining parameter like speed, feed, and depth of cut, right? So what is meant by speed? Speed is nothing but it's the primary movement of primary relative movement of workpiece and tool. So maybe workpiece are rotating or tool is rotating, whatever the rotating, but there is a relative motion is there. The relative motion between the tool and workpiece is considering as the speed. So at which, if you take in later, so at which speed the workpiece is revolving about its axis. So that is called speed. Where is the feed? Feed actually always is perpendicular to your cutting speed. Cutting speed. Speed is nothing but, so in lathe, if you say, so your cutting tool, you are giving a lateral movement you are giving. So in your carpentry, maybe you're done that, right? So whatever the cutting tool you are keeping, you're keeping the cutting tool workpiece is rotating, and you're keeping the your cutting tool, and at the same time you're moving cutting tool laterally at a very small speed, right? So these lateral movement of workpiece tool, whatever you are giving, that is considering as a feed. If you're not giving the feed, you can machine only at one particular location. You cannot machine about the entire surface. To make entire surface to be machined, what need to do? In addition to speed, you need to have a feed also. So you need to have feed. So you need to have a lateral movement is required. So parallel to the axis of the workpiece, you are moving your cutting tool. So this motion is called as a feed. So next term is depth of cut, right? So what is depth of, what is meant by depth of cut? So depth of cut is nothing but how much thickness of material you are removing from the workpiece, right? So thickness of, when you are holding the workpiece, once you have moved up to end, then what you will do again next? Again, you can bring your workpiece back to your starting position, and here whatever the position you have kept your tool initial previous machining, now you can move little bit forward, right? It's the same. You are not keeping on the same position. You are moving a little bit forward. So that little forward, whatever you are moving, so that is nothing but, so how much thickness of material you are cutting. So that is called as the depth of cut. So how much depth you are giving on workpiece to remove the material, that is called as the depth of cut. So primary motion, nothing but speed is nothing but the workpiece which is revolving about its axis, that is called as speed. And whatever the lateral movement you are giving, it's called as a feed. And whatever the depth you are giving in after every one pass, when you are coming for the next pass, you need to you need to move your cutting tool toward the center of the workpiece, right? So this is called as a depth of cut. So these are the three basic parameters in any machining, whether it's a lathe, whether it's a turning, milling, grinding, drilling, anything if you say. So these three parameters are required. One is the primary motion, so at which primary motion is nothing but relative motion between the workpiece and tool, right? So at this particular your tool related to this one, so this material, how much the speed it is moving. So that is called relative velocity between the cutting tool and workpiece is called as the speed. Whereas the feed is the lateral movement of cutting tool about its axis along with the axis of the workpiece is called as a feed. So this especially I'm talking about in terms of lathe. So lateral movement of workpiece, whatever it is moving, so in every cut is called as a feed. Whereas the depth of cut, it's penetration of workpiece into the material. So penetration of tool, sorry, not workpiece, penetration of tool into the workpiece is called as a depth of cut. So depth of cut is nothing but how much depth of material you are removing in one pass. That is called as a depth of cut. So these are the three primary parameters in any machining. For exact definitions, maybe you can refer your textbook. So then coming to the types of cutting tools, right? So we did, last class we have seen about different materials, right? So now we're talking about whatever the material it has. It is maybe high speed steel, high carbon steel, or maybe polycrystalline carbide, or whatever is the diamond, polycrystalline diamond or carbide tools, whatever the tools are there. So tools we can categorize broadly into the two categories, that is called single point cutting tool and multi point cutting tool. So this tool is categorized based upon it is cutting edge. So cutting edges, how many cutting edges it have. So based upon the cutting edges, we can classify. If it is a single cutting edge, we used to call it as a single point cutting tool. Instead of single, if you're having a multiple cutting edges are there, so that cutting tool is called as a multi-point cutting tool. Here, point is not, I think what I will do. So before going for types of cutting tool, you please note down these two slides. So is it required to note down? Or I can go ahead.
We took screenshots, sir. You can go ahead.
Sir, you can proceed ahead.
Okay, okay. So, but you note down your screenshot after this class.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
So these are the basic two types of cutting tools are there. One is single point cutting tool and multi-point cutting tool. So single point means, don't be confused that we are talking about a point only. So point means edge. So here whatever the point is there. So remember, point means it's edge. So edges. So if you take in our in home, whatever we are using, whatever knife you are using. So these knives. So these knives, how many edges are there in that knife? In your kitchen, whatever the knife you're using, or
Only one edge, sir.
so only one edge is there, right? So that
Yeah.
cutting tool is called as a single point cutting tool. So even though it is not a point, it having a complete edge, but still it is considering as a single point cutting tool. So here point means edge. Don't think that point means only a small tip of your knife, because that kind of tips are that kind of points, number of points are there on your edge. So it's a multi-point cutting tool. No, it's a single point cutting tool. Single point cutting tool means at a time you having only one edge. Then we can call it as a single point cutting tool. Single point cutting tool, one dimensional cut edge. So one edge is there. So edge maybe is a line, but we considering it as a single point cutting tool. So point is usually rounded to form a nose radius sometimes, especially in this picture if you say. So in this, so these actually basically if you see, so these things, whatever you see, this is the actual cutting edge you used to call. So this also used to have this is considering as a primary cutting edge. This is considering as a secondary cutting edge. But these cutting edges are having a continuity, like whatever is there in your knife. So if cutting edges or cutting points are continue, so we can consider it as a line. It's maybe not a straight line, maybe it is have a curved line, or maybe having a different shape of line, but considering it as a single line. So single cutting edge, so one single cutting edge is there, so it's completely is considered, but mostly active cutting edge is this is. So this is the primary cutting edge. So whatever you used to call is the primary cutting edge, and this used to call as the secondary cutting edge, right? So our primary or maybe secondary cutting edge, or this is principal cutting edge or primary cutting edge, this is secondary or auxiliary cutting edge. So different books as mentioning differently, maybe different you can listen for the different speakers or different faculty may have different terms they can use, but all having the same meaning. Primary or principal is same, secondary or auxiliary is same. So most of the cases this kind of tool, so whatever the tool you're seeing in this maybe next slide I'm seeing I will show the even better picture. Just remember, this is whatever the cutting edge is there, this is the cutting edge. So this is the long cutting edge is there, and this is called as a tip. So wherever this cutting edge is meeting or changing its direction, it's considering as a tip. So actually in single point cutting tool normally is pointing this point. So whatever the point is there, we're considering this as a cutting point. So that's why this is called as a single point cutting tool. And this cutting tool, this position, this point only is the more sharpest point, right? So from this only material is removing more. That's why I used to call it as a single point cutting tool. Normally, whatever this cutting tool you're seeing, it's a turning tool. So whatever we are using on the lathe machine. So cutting tool on the lathe machine. So this is similar to this one. So this is a typical single point cutting tool. Single point cutting tool. One of the example is knife in your home. So most of the 99% of the knives are sharp in only one end. Second end we don't have the sharp edge, right? So that is not good, not advisable. The next category of cutting tool is multi-point cutting tool, obviously. So if it is single edge is there, we used to call it the single point cutting tool. If it is a multiple edges, not one edge, you need to have multiple edges are there to cut the material. So that kind of cutting tool we used to call as a multi-point cutting tool. So more than one cutting edge. So motion relative to the work achieved by rotation. So here also rotation and previously also rotation, but only difference is if you see this is a typical drill bit, right? So in drill bit, if you observe, so this is whatever is there. So this is considering as a cutting edge, right? So in one tool, this is a tool. In this, you having a multiple cutting tools, cutting edges are there. So now, it's not a multiple points. You can say it's edge, right? It's not a point. It's a line. So it's a multiple cutting edges are there. So multiple cutting edges, so multi-point cutting tool. So example, if you take, the knife is a single point cutting tool, but in your mixie or maybe in your grinder, you see that whatever the cutter is there. So in cutter, how many cutting edges will be there? So not one, right? It has multiple.
2, 4, yes, sir.
So yes, it is a two. Sometimes it is two is there. So one sharp edge is there. It has two, and sometimes it is three. In some, even some mixers, it is four also there. If it's a big mixie, or maybe it is to cut different objects. You used to have three cutter. You can have the four cutters also. So that cutting, even in that, if you see, both sides are sharp. So maybe whatever, if you take the two edges, whatever is there, in that it having a hole at the center, you're fixing on this at the center to the rotor, and when it is rotating, you having a one tool this side and one edge is this side. So two edges, in the two sides, you having a two edges are sharp. That's why you can, in any direction, you can rotate in the mixie, so you can grind the material, grind your whatever the things are there in the kitchen, you can grind forward direction as well as a backward direction. That's why you see, if you want to make a course, means it's not that much fine. उतना ज्यादा क्या बोलते हैं, उतना ज्यादा पाउडर बनाने की जरूरत नहीं, तो आप खाली एक साइड रोटेट करते हैं. बट अगर आपको बहुत फाइन पाउडर करना, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा वो करना है, मतलब पूरा क्या बोलते हैं, बहुत उसको फाइन करना है, तो आप यू नीड टू डू इट ऑन बोथ द डायरेक्शंस, राइट? First you need to do the forward direction, then you need to stop it and you need to go for a reverse direction. So that's why if you're doing both the direction, it's become very fine. जो भी आप बनाते हो, that has become very fine. I think maybe somebody may have experience in kitchen, or maybe not have. Next time you can explore it. You can ask your mother whether if you want to do, find what she used to do. You just check it. So you used to do in the both directions. So the cutter, whatever you are using in the mixie, it is sharp in the both the direction. Whereas the knife, whatever we are using manually cutting, it is only one edge is sharper, not other edge. So both are different techniques, right? One is a single point cutting tool and other is multi-point cutting tool. So now it's geometry of single point cutting tool. So previously I have not explained about that. Only I have put that only for to your understand. So this is a typical cutting tool. Whenever if anybody is asking you to geometry of the cutting tool, so this is a typical geometry. This is actually the lathe tool. But if any question is coming on the normal tool, you just need to remember this diagram. So in this, different portions are there. So in this, you can see shank. So basically, whatever the structure, this is actually completely cutting tool. In that, actually cutting portion is, this is the cutting portion. So this portion is the cutting portion, and this portion is the inactive. It's not cutting portion. It's just what is there, because if this portion is not there, it's very difficult to insert in the machine, right? You cannot insert this cutting edges into the machine. If you insert the cutting edges in the machine, so cutting is not is possible, and as well as cutting of the machine is may happen. That's why every cutting tool used to have a cutting portion, cutting zone, as well as an uncutting zone. So uncutting zone is using for fixing this cutting tool in the machine, or maybe to holding the machine, holding the cutting tool. If you see, take in your kitchen knife, right? So knife, you having a blade, right? So blade which is sharp edge, and also you used to have a handle. If the handle is not there, it's difficult for you to cut, right? Imagine if handle is not there, only you have that cutting portion, only that cutting blade is there. So is it possible to cut? It's very difficult. Even you see sometimes in kitchen, the handle used to break. Handle टूट जाती. तो क्या करते हैं आप? हैंडल टूट गया तो हैंडल को जॉइन करने की कोशिश करते हैं, अगर न जॉइन ना हो तो फेंक देते हैं उसको, फेंक देके नहीं लेके आ लेते. मतलब handle also equally important. Your cutting edges, the blade as well as the handle, both are important. एक भी नहीं रहा, so it is not meeting the functions. It's not possible to do. So yeah, even in cutting tool also, this shank, this portion used to called as the shank. Whatever is there, handle, so used to called as a handle in the knife. So that portion used to called as the shank in cutting tool. Shank means the portion which is inserting into the workpiece is called as a shank, right? Shank. So in shank again, that is used to call as a shank only. That only remember. In that you having a maybe rectangular shape, or circular shape, different kind of shapes are there. So don't worry about that one. So remember, if somebody is asking you to geometry of single point cutting tool, remember this image and explain the different parts of the cutting tool. So this portion, so whatever the portion is there, this portion is the shank portion. This is the cutting portion, and this is uncutting portion. So this uncutting portion we used to call it as a shank. The shank is using to insert the cutting tool into the machine. So every cutting tool used to have shank. We used to call it as a handle. If somebody is asking something,
sir, it is like handle, sir.
Yes, it's like a handle only. Remember, it's like a handle, right?
Okay.
So in your cutting tool, also in your knife, whatever is there, so that handle portion also called as a shank. So shank we are calling because this is inserting into the workpiece, and this is not involving the cutting portion. But this also made, most of the material, especially if you take high carbon steel and high speed steel, both has made of the same material. So both are made of high speed steel. But once you what happened every time when you are grinding, when you are sharpening the material, so this whatever the cutting portion size is decreasing, then this portion also you can grind it and make it as a cutting portion. That you can do it, but at the end you need to have a small shank. Size of the shank is decreasing, so that can be possible. But if at least you need to have small portion of the shank has to be left. If completely shank is expanded, if it is completely consumed, so that cutting tool we cannot use. So shank also very important part of the tool. So shank is nothing but handle. Remember that shank is nothing. Shank is the handle. So in that you can see if you coming to the cutting portion. So in cutting portion also we having a different kind of thing is there. So this whatever the portion is there, this whatever you see. So normally what happened you see here. So this is a tool. The tool is inserting like this. So in this the cutting is involving by this edge. So this is nothing but similar to this one. So this edge is calling as a cutting edge and nothing but primary cutting edge. I told you primary cutting edge or maybe principal cutting edge. So this used to called as the principal cutting edge, right? So in this, if you see here in this work P in this diagram at the bottom side by diagram. So in this diagram, I hope this diagram is visible for everybody because the
Yes, sir.
drag is little lighter. Just focus here. So this is your cutting tool, and this will be this is the workpiece. The workpiece mounted on a lathe. Assume this is workpiece mounted on a lathe. So this whatever the two edges there. So this edge is removing this material. You see, this is the removing material. This is a chip. So removing the material in the form of chip. So this is a cutting edge. So here this is the cutting edge. So this used to call the primary cutting edge, or maybe because in this in your book is mentioning as a side cutting edge. So because it is a side of the tool. So if you're considering this is axis, so this is coming as a side cutting edge. So this is side. This is referred as a side cutting edge. So here also this is referred as side cutting edge. Just a minute. Something is this has to come here, right? So this is the side cutting edge. So side. So this used to call as a side cutting edge. In your textbook is mentioning as a side cutting edge. So side cutting edge, remember, is a primary cutting edge or principal cutting edge in lathe, right? So this is the side cutting edge. And similarly, what happened here also one cutting edge. This edge also very sharp. So this edge is the primary cutting edge, and similarly at the end also this also having a cutting edge. So but this cutting edge is not involving the cutting mostly. So it's only doing some kind of finishing work if possible. Otherwise, that also is not doing. So you see this one. So this at the end. So this is a cut surface. So already your machining has done. So your tool is moving. So this is the direction of motion of the tool. So motion is your tool is started from here. As it's going forward, it is removing the material in the form of a chip. And this whatever the portion you're seeing, so this portion is a machine portion and nothing but finished portion. Okay, we can say. So this whatever the cutting edge is there. So what this cutting edges do? If kind of any uneven things are there, any kind of small projections, if it is there, only it is cutting a small projection thing. So it is that's why this cutting edge is called as a secondary cutting edge. So secondary or auxiliary cutting edge. So in this, your textbook is mentioning as an end cutting edge because it is mounted. If you take this is the axis, so this is one end and other is one more is other end. So when it is considering this as a side, so this is considering as the end. So this is considering as end cutting edge. So side cutting edge and as well as the end cutting edge. So and one more thing is there here. So this used to call what are the top portion is called as the face. So why it is calling as a face? Because once your machining has done, so you see whatever the chips is there, so chip is coming on this surface. So that's why this used to call like this surface, the top surface whichever is there used to call as the face. The face is the surface of the cutting tool where chip is coming out or chip is touching with the workpiece is called as the face. So this is the primary portion which is facing the chip on the cutting tool. So that's why you used to call as a face. So this portion is called as a face, and this portion is called as a flank. So this flank, what it is doing, it is not it's not touching with the chip, but it is touching with the workpiece. If you say here shank is nothing but so this surface parallel to the one more surface is there other side. So that surface that used to call as the flank. So this flank is touching with the workpiece. So that maybe finished workpiece or unfinished workpiece, it is touching and it is not doing any cutting. It is not exposing to the chip. This portion of the workpiece, which is touching to the portion of cutting tool. Sorry, this is a portion of the cutting tool which is touching with the workpiece is called as a flank, right? So it is touching, but we need to give some kind of clearance so that the workpiece cannot damage your this surface. So that I will see after this. So this surface used to called as a flank. And here you having one more surface here also. So this is a cutting edge. So below this cutting edge there is a surface is there. So this is this surface. Maybe you can see on the other side. So this is one surface is one end, and other end one more surface is there. So this surface also is touching with the workpiece, right? Right. That is maybe touching with the finished workpiece. So this also is calling it as a flank. So this is a flank, and also this is also calling it as a flank. So this is the side flank, and this is calling as an end flank, or you can call it as because this is the primary cutting edge. So below that primary cutting edge, whatever the flank is coming, considering as a primary flank, and auxiliary cutting edge or secondary cutting edge, whatever is there below that secondary the secondary flank. So remember, flank is a portion or surface of the cutting tool which is touching with the workpiece, flank, and which is touching with the chip. It's not touching with the workpiece. You see this face, whichever is there. So this face is not touching with the workpiece. So you say this is not touching with the workpiece, but this is coming in contact or touching with the chip. So whichever the portion which is touching with the chip or coming in contact with the chip is called as the face, and whichever the surface is coming in contact with the workpiece is called as a flank. So face is only one in every cutting tool, but flanks is two, right? Primary flank or secondary flank, side flank or end flank. So for your convenience, for your book to follow, maybe we can consider it as side and end. We are not calling it as a primary or secondary. So now onwards, I'm not talking as a primary or secondary, but in some textbook is considering as a primary and secondary. But in your textbook, whatever textbook you are following, Mittal, in that it is considering as a side and end. That only I'm following now. So in that and this wherever this cutting edges are meeting. So normally this is not a sharp edge. So it's supposed to be sharp edge, but always you know that when you design of machine member maybe started or maybe you're going to study that. So always in design we need to avoid sharp edges. So sharp edges, if something is there, something if it is sharp, there is a stress concentration is happened. So you studied stress concentration in your mechanics of solids, right? If some kind of stress concentration is happening, means metal is become weak in that position. So for example, if this portion is very sharp, so what happened? It's become very stress concentration will happen there, and due to the stress concentration, that portion is wearing out very fast. That's why normal practice, what we used to do, we used to give some kind of curvature. Even in your knife, if you see, so even though it is very sharp, but you used to have some kind of radius of curvature will be there. So here, whatever is we are giving radius of curvature, this portion used to called as a nose, cutting nose. So cutting happened by primary cutting edge and cutting nose. So cutting, this used to called as a nose, and this nose used to have some radius. So always nose is not a sharp. It used to give some kind of radius of curvature, so that you can finish that. Maybe in your engineering drawing you have studied, or maybe in your machine drawing maybe you have studied. So whenever the sharp edges are coming, we used to replace the sharp edge with some kind of fillet, right? Filleting, you studied filleting. So filleting is nothing but you're giving some kind of circle. So it's whatever the sharp edge is there. So to avoid the stress concentration, you're giving it to some kind of curvature. You're giving some kind of curvature. You're cutting this extra material and you're giving that some kind of curvature so that stress concentration can be avoided. If stress concentration is there, so definitely material is going to fail in that this concentrated region only. Even though force is applied to the entire body, but because of stress concentration, complete stress or higher stress is concentrating in that particular position. So because of high stress concentration, the metal is going to fail. And this stress concentration, why it is happening here? Because here the cross-sectional area, if you see it, if you take in this direction, maybe your surface is same. But if you take in this direction, so maybe your forces are coming in any inclined directions also. Maybe you studied your mechanics of solids. So forces are not only coming in lateral direction or longitudinal direction, even when inclined directions also forces may act. So whenever the force is acting in inclined direction, you see here it is having a tip, means the surface area of this is very small. So maybe it is in micron or maybe it's less than micron, right? So if some force is acting in that particular area, in that particular point, what happened? Stress is increasing, even though force is same, but because of less surface area, the stress increases drastically. So stress is nothing but force by area. So stress is increases if you're increasing the force, stress is increasing if you're reducing the cross-sectional area. So in this, the magnitude of force is acting same. So maybe you are applying some 100 kilonewton of the force here, but because this area is very small, maybe in micron level, that 100 kilonewton force also carving very high stress. The stress is maybe in meganewton, is maybe sometimes in giganewton. So that much stress is acting. Then what happens is obviously this whatever the portion is there is going to wear out, because this the stress levels of this particular material is exceeding its ultimate tensile strength point. So when exceeding ultimate tensile strength point, what happened? There is a fracture is happening in the material. Fracture is nothing but material is become into the two pieces, right? That is only is happening. So that's why to avoid the stress concentration, they need to give some kind of radius has to maintain. So this radius is there. And also, so one more important thing is there in this. So whatever the surfaces you see, the face, flank, two flanks, so all is not a vertical or horizontal surfaces. So all has to give some kind of inclination so that you can avoid wearing of the tool or damaging the finished surface of the workpiece, right? So I told you this, whatever the flank is there, this end flank is touching with this. If end flank is touching with the workpiece, what happened? So this workpiece and there is a rubbing is happened between the workpiece and this tool surface. Then what happened? There is a wear is happening in the workpiece as well as the tool. So what happened to that? Your surface finish of the workpiece is decreases and as well as your tool is wearing out. So if it is touching in contact with them, so life of the cutting tool is decreasing. To avoid that, we need to provide some kind of angles. So not exactly 90 degrees, we need to give some kind of angles. So those angles are very important in designing a cutting tool, right? So before going for that one, so maybe you have some definitions of shank. So whatever I explained to you initially previously in that, here also you having a picture. So shank, it is the main body of the tool. So non-cutting body of the tool. So main portion, because cutting portion is very small only in the cutting tool. Major portion of there it is uncutting portion. So major portion of the tool, but it is not a primary portion. It's a major portion. Major and primary, there is a difference is there. So the main body of the tool is shank, and flank, the surface of the tool adjacent to the cutting edge. So cutting edge, as I told you. So whatever the cutting edge is there, so below that cutting edge. So if you take here, so this is the flank, and as well as this is the flank. So in cutting edge, whatever the below portion of the cutting edge, that is considering as a flank. So this is a flank, side flank, and this is the end flank, right? So flank and the face. So face is face on which the chip is slides. So right. So face on which this is called as the face. Face which the surface of the cutting tool on which the chip is slides or chip is come in contact is considering as the face, the surface on which chip slides. And nose, this is considering as a nose. Whatever I told you, the radius we need to maintain. So this is called as a nose. It is the point where the side cutting edge and end cutting edge is intersect, right? So at that particular portion is called as a nose. And this nose having, because this nose we are not has to keep it as a point. We need to make it some kind of circular, or we need to give some kind of radius. So whatever the radius is there, that is considering as a nose radius. So this nose radius is giving strengthening the cutting or finishing point of the tool. So if it is having very sharp point, cross-sectional area is very less. To avoid that one, we are grinding this surface and we are making some kind of circular surface. If circle means the area on which force is acting is little bit increased. So because of increases, your strength of the cutting tool is increasing. And then cutting edge, so the portion, the edge on the surface of the tool which remove the material from the workpiece. So that portion is called as a cutting edges. So here maybe you can have the two cutting edges. That side cutting edge is the most important, which is removing the material. So side cutting edge angles. So angle between the side cutting edge and the side of the tool shank is considering as a side cutting edge angle. So angles are very important in defining a cutting tool. So what I want you, right? So coming here, so these are the typical angles we can say. So here maybe I can show you. I think I can explain you properly. So this is a typical cutting tool, right? It's one. So in this we are taken a 3 different views we are taken. So this is your front view. Maybe you've done in a lot of exercises you've done in your engineering graphics or engineering drawing, right? So when you're taking any object, so any object normally in engineering drawing, what we used to do, we used to do pictorial drawings we need to do, orthographic projections we need to draw, right? Side view, front view, top view, even different sides, left side view, right side view. So basically for a complicated shape, for simple shapes, we can give it with the two drawings, that is maybe 2 views, right? Front view and as well as side view. But if it is something is complicated, you need to go for as more views as possible. Front view, side views, left side view, right side view, top view, and bottom view. So all these things are required. But if it is normally for engineering drawings, what we used to do, we used to follow the 3 views: front view, side view, and top view. So here also is there. Maybe you can see in this diagram. So in this diagram, whatever is there, this cutting tool, whatever cutting tool is here, this cutting tool or this cutting tool, just we try to draw a 2-dimensional views in this. So orthographic projections we are drawn. So this is the side view, so that you can easily understand. So here, so we are having actually in this cutting tool, we used to have 6 important angles are there. So most important angle is rake angle. So rake is nothing but this surface, whatever the surface you see. I hope you seeing my cursor, right? So whatever this surface is there, so this surface is face of the tool. So this face of the tool, we are not keeping parallel, like it's not parallel to your base, right? Base is parallel because it's a flat surface is there, but here it is a not flat surface. We used to give some kind of inclination so that the chip, whichever is coming, so that easily can flow on this. So for this, we need to have the inclination in both the directions, not in one direction, not only in the horizontal plane. So it's inclined with the horizontal plane as well as it's inclined with the vertical plane. So both planes, if you take in this drawing, so this is a side front view of this this tool. If you take this, so whatever the inclination you provided, actually, if you see here, so this is looking like a straight, but actually this is from this point, it is going some kind of slope is there. So maybe you can observe in this drawing. So this is whatever your face is, this portion. So this whatever this is a cutting edge, side cutting edge. So this cutting edge surface, whatever is there in this direction, perpendicular to your this screen, is your face. So this whatever the face is there, in face you're giving provided some kind of inclination, some kind of angle you're provided. So this is called as a rake angle. Most important parameter in any cutting tool is the rake angle. So because this is going towards back, if it considering this is the front, one end of this one is going the back, so that's why you also used to call as a back rake angle. So whatever the inclination you are provided in terms of horizontal plane is called as a back rake angle. So this is rake. And next one, if you see this surface, the surface is inclined this direction as well as this direction. So this direction inclination is coming in this view, right? This direction inclination is coming in which view? So it will come obviously. So whichever is you can see from this. So from this view, whatever you are seeing in that view, it will come, right? So this is nothing but side view. So in side view, if you take this is your this is one more. This is the surface, right? This is one primary cutting edge, a side cutting edge. So this is the end cutting edge. So end cutting edge is nothing but this one. So your cutting tool is this one. This is your whatever the hatched portion. So this is your cutting tool. So this lines only is drawn to reference to measure the angle. So this is your end cutting edge, right? So end cutting edge, whatever end cutting edge, if you see the perpendicular to this one, whatever the face is there, there is nothing but the surface is there. There is nothing but this surface. So this surface also inclined with this particular plane also, right? So this whatever the angle is there. So this also, because this is also rake angle, we used to call it as a rake angle, right? So rake angle is nothing but the angle at which your face is inclined with the both horizontal surface as well as the vertical surface, right? So this thing, whatever is there, so this used to called as a rake angle only, but this is coming at the end, so that's why this is called as a side rake angle. So this is because we are measuring in terms of side. So this whatever the angle is coming, it's coming inside. So that's why this is used to called as a side rake angle. So this is end back rake angle, and this is considering as a side rake angle. So two rake angles are more important. So rake angle is nothing but the surface, or nothing but your whatever your face of the material. So face of the cutting tool inclined to both the directions. So if you're having this is surface, right? One is inclined to this and one is inclined to this, right? So inclined to both the planes. So this inclination with both the planes is measuring. One is back rake angle, one is side rake angle, and then even sometimes called as end. It's a side rake angle. So this is a rake angle. And next important angles are your clearance angle. So I told you. So whatever the surface, if you take this one, so this whatever the surface is there, this is nothing but flank, right? So this is one flank and this is one flank. If you say this flank is coming from where in this diagram, if you take, so this line, whichever is representing, is nothing but flank. So this is the flank, right? So this is the flank. So flank it is. So if you extend this line perpendicular to the plane, so whatever the surface you're getting, that is nothing but a flank. So this flank is not vertical, right? I told you it's not vertical. We used to give some kind of inclination so that whatever the workpiece is coming here, this workpiece not has to rub this surface. If it is a vertical like this, so if you assume this is the thing, then whatever the workpiece is there, it's removing the material. At the same time, it is coming in contact with this surface also. Then what happened? So this surface may damage the workpiece, as well as the workpiece also maybe some kind of scratches may happen on this surface. Right? To avoid that, what we used to do, we used to give some kind of inclination. We need to remove, we need to give inclination so that if even though workpiece is here, there is some kind of clearance, some kind of gap is there. That's why this, whatever the inclination is there, this is to call as relief angle or clearance angle. So both are same. So actually relief or clearance, because we're giving some kind of clearance so that workpiece is not in touch with that particular surface, and it prevent the damage of workpiece as well as the tool. So this used to called as a clearance surface. So this clearance surface is coming at the end. So because it's end, so that's why this used to called as a end clearance surface. So clearance surface is nothing but flank which is having some inclination with the vertical plane is considering as clearance angle. Clearance angle or relief angle. Even some textbook is coming considering as a relief angle. Some textbook is considering as a clearance angle. Actually, clearance angle and relief angle is same. So this is actually this is nothing but actually this is your line, right? So here there is no change. The line is a straight line. Normally we used to here it is showing some kind of curved line, but actually clearance as well as relief is same. So this whatever the angle is provided, so this angle is calling it as a relief angle, but it is at the end of the tool. That's why you used to call it as an end relief angle, right? This is one shank and one more shank also there, right? One more flank also there. So one more flank is there coming here. This is also flank, right? So one flank is coming in this here, in this side, in this image and front view, and one flank you can see from your side view also. So this is the flank, right? So if you say this is the line, whichever is there, this is the line. So whatever the surface is there, so this is also a flank. So whatever the inclination of this primary flank is having with the vertical plane, it is considering as a side relief angle because this is at the side, considering as a side relief angle. So this is a side relief or side clearance angle. Relief angle or clearance angle you consider it as the same. So this is considering as a side relief angle and this is considering as an end relief angle. So end relief angle or end clearance angle, side relief angle or side clearance angle. So this is the second important angle. So two set of angles. Plus, so whatever the cutting edges are there, so these cutting edges are not perpendicular, not parallel to your surface. So if you see here, this is your whatever the shank portion is there in this. So in this, if you see whatever the shank portion is there, so this shank portion and this cutting edge portion is not parallel. So you say here, so this cutting portion and this portion normally we used to provide some kind of inclination. So that inclination maybe you can see in the top view. So this is your cutting edge. This is the primary cutting edge and nothing but side cutting edge, and this is see at the end cutting edge. So this side cutting edge is not in line or not parallel to your edge of the vertical cutting tool, the shank of the cutting tool. You're giving some kind of inclination. So this used to called as a cutting edge angle. So this, whatever the angle we are providing, whatever the angles we are providing, whether it is side cutting edge or end cutting edge, whatever the inclination we are providing, so this inclination is called as a cutting edge angle. If it is the side, if you are measuring with the side of the shank, it's considering as the side cutting edge angle. If it is a measuring with the end, it is considering as the end cutting edge angle. So these are the 6 important things, important angles in any cutting tool. So whenever you are grinding a cutting tool, you need to maintain these angles. If angles are changing, maybe if angles relatively, if it is changing, it is fine. But it is absolutely if it's changing, maybe instead of coming angle positive to negative, then the forces will be more forces required. Similarly, this whatever the angles are there, so a particular value based upon the force calculations, particular values has to maintain. All these 6 angles. If angles are changing, even small difference is happening. Instead of back rake angle, if you say back rake angle for normally tools, we used to follow 15 degrees. So if it is instead of 15 degrees, if you're going for 20 degrees or maybe 25 degrees, cutting will happen, but force on the material will change. The force maybe increases, or maybe if not force is increased, force may decrease, but your cutting tool become weaker. So that's why angles, as per the design, whatever the angles are there, so those angles has to maintain in cutting tool. So now what I will do, I will give a break for you here. So just whatever the image is there, so please draw this image in your class note. So I'm not telling you to take the screenshot. You can take the screenshot, but even you could take the screenshot, please draw this. I'm giving you the 5 minutes time to draw these 3 images. I will check your class notes in future. So please draw these images. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Considering it as a break, who's done the finish drawing, completing, to take a break and join after 5 minutes. So I'm keeping this video to be open. So please draw this picture. This is most important picture. This one picture and also this one picture. So this picture is the 3-dimensional cutting tool and this is a 2-dimensional cutting tool. So whenever asking you for more marks, please draw this. So for time being, I'm just taking a break for maybe students to be free in anything. So जब आप अटेंड भी नहीं करें, आप YouTube चैनल में जाके सुन लो, ऐसा नहीं होता. Last time खाली for उसके लिए रखा हूँ, but दूसरे technical things कुछ रहा तो definitely I will share on the YouTube channel also. I will share you after the class. I will share you the yesterday's video also. You can listen it. So come back, or what I will do it to under, because this is a single point cutting tool geometry is one of the important topic in this. Definitely आपको एक question तो जरूर आएगा इसमें, whether it is a 5 marks question, whether it is a if it is a more. So what I will do, just there is a one YouTube video is there. I'll just try to share that video. I'll show you. Just it's a 2 minutes video. So I hope everybody see this video, this page. Dikhan aap logon ko ye
Yes,
page?
sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this is a typical tool, whichever is there in the YouTube. This link also I will share you after the class, but this just I'm showing here, right? So yeah. So this is there. So if you maybe I think you may not get the audio. Audio आ रही है आप लोगों को?
नहीं आ रही सर.
1 minute मैं थोड़ा सेटिंग में चेंज है. Maybe Are you getting voice now?
नो सर.
बारीक है सर.
हाँ बारीक है.
हाँ सर.
एक
आवाज क्लियर नहीं.
मिनट. मेरी
सर
आवाज
लैपटॉप को हेडफोन्स लगाओ सर.
क्या बोले?
लैपटॉप को हेडफोन्स लगा के बोलो सर.
लैपटॉप को हेडफोन निकाल दो बोलते. हेलो.
जी सर. अभी लग के है निकाल के है सर हेडफोन्स.
Are you getting now?
नो सर.
अब आ रही है आपको वॉइस वीडियो की?
नो सर.
नहीं आ रही सर.
वीडियो की भी नहीं आ रही. Okay. Okay. I think maybe I'll stop it. I will explain to you. Maybe video voice volume is not coming. So then I will. So whatever I just now I've shown told to you in the that just I will show you in this video. Yeah. So this is a typical cutting tool for lathe, right? This is the typical tool of all three sides is shown. Yes. So this is always. This is the shank of the tool. This whatever the portion. This is the face over which strip flows. So this is the cutting edge. Secondary or end cutting edge. So this is the flank, principal or primary flank. This is the end flank. This is called cutting tool. The cutting also called as the nose. So these are the two flanks and this is the face. So tool designation set by 7 parameters. So in that most popular is orthogonal rake system. Normally we has to have different standard systems. So whatever you have seen, angles is orthographic. So these are three perpendicular planes in any cutting tool. So this is the top horizontal plane. So vertical plane. Cutting as the side cutting edge. So this is called as a cutting plane. These are the three planes. Right? Three planes are there. Yeah, so this is the planes, right? So here, this angle, whichever is there, this is called as a rake angle. So this is clearance angle. On the front view, when you're coming to the front view, whatever just you've seen, right? So this is again, so this is the rake angle, is nothing but your side rake angle. So this is clearance angle, right? Principal clearance angle or end clearance angle. You see, this will be when you're cutting it. So this is more important. This is approach angle. This is outside of. So this is the basic. This is approach angle. So these are the 6. This is called as a tool geometry system or tool signature used to call. In the tool signature, you used to have this many parameters. That may be this parameters will be there. All these 6 angles. So 3 types of 2 angles. So these 6 angles and then nose radius. So these 7 used to call as a tool signature are nothing but tool geometry specifications. That maybe we can see in the next slides. So I'm stopping this video here. Again uploading our PPT. So right, PPT you can see the PPT, right? Okay. So right, so this was our last slide. Coming to the next one. So just backlying angle, this definitions are given. I'm not going to discuss much about this. Whatever I just told you, that only there. So angle between the tool face
and normal to the machined surface. So whatever the point is coming, that is normal to the machined surface at cutting edge, at cutting edge, it may positive, it may negative, or it may zero also, right? So whatever you see in this one, so this is sometimes what happened. This tool is maybe like flat. So in this flat, if it is a flat tool, a sharp edge, if it is there, some kind of radiation, radius of curvature if given. So in this case, the angle, the back rake angle becomes zero, right? So this is back rake angle is considering as a positive. Even back rake, if this is coming in this also, sometimes you can get this kind of projection also will come. So this projection is getting as negative back rake angle. So always we need to prefer. So back rake angle is anything positive, negative, or zero also, depending upon conditions, depending upon material. And then side rake angle. So this is angle between the tool face and line parallel to the base of the tool and measured in a plane perpendicular to the base and the side cutting edge. So whatever the side cutting edge is there, to that whatever the inclination you're seeing, that is side rake angle. Then similarly relief angle, side relief angle or clearance angle are the same. So side relief angle, the angle between the portion of the side flank immediately below the side. So below the side is considering as a flank, the cutting edge and the line perpendicular to the base of the tool measured at right angle to the side flank. Similarly, end relief angle. So end relief angle we are measuring in terms of end flank. So angle between the portion of end flank immediately below the end cutting edge and the line perpendicular to the base of the tool. Matlab, whatever the inclination you are giving at the end, it's considering as end clearance angle, and whatever you are giving side, that angle is giving a side clearance angle or side relief angle. Similarly, cutting edge angles. So end cutting edge angle as well as the side cutting edge angle. So angle between the cutting edge and the line normal to the machine surface are nothing but it is parallel to your shank. And side cutting angle between the side cutting edge and the line parallel to the machine surface. Here normal to the machine surface, it is parallel to the machine surface. So these are the few. If it's asking you what is back rake angle, what is the side rake angle, you need to write this one sentence, two sentence, and also if possible you can draw. Even for the 2 marks also, if somebody asks you, please draw this. So all these definitions are there in your textbook. Please refer the textbook. So this is the tool signature, what I told you, so what is shown in this previous video. So this is a typical tool signature we need to specify. So any tool is specified by these 7 parameters. So tool signature. So first one in tool signature, whatever the first is coming, back rake angle first. So it is mentioning in degree of inclination. So angles only. It's not in radians. So all the values are mentioning in the degrees. So back rake angle 10 degrees. Side rake angle. So next term, whatever is coming in 7 terms, whatever is there, first one is the back rake angle. So if you see here, so this first one, whatever you see, this is a typical signature. So signature of the tool has to become in this fashion, like this. It will be like this. Maybe what I will do. So this, if you say this is the typical your tool geometry has to be like this. So your tool signature has to write this one. Like 7 numbers will be there. So in the 7 number, each number representing something. So first whatever is there. So everything is separated by some space, right? So first one, whatever is there is represented by back rake angle. The second one, so whatever is there here, it is side rake angle. So I hope now already you are aware about rake angles, right? Side rake angles in terms of degrees. So all in terms of degrees only, right? So fourth term is representing end relief angle. What are the relief angle or clearance angle at the end relief angle. Then side relief angle, right? End cutting edge angle. So what is the cutting edge is there? End cutting edge. Then side cutting edge angle. So these are the 6 angles. And then 7th term is the nose radius in mm. So here 1/32 is mentioning as the mm. So that is coming to, that is 1/32 is mentioning as inches, but normally in mm it is coming as 0.8 mm. So nose radius, whatever the nose radius is there, so that nose radius of curvature, whatever is there, it is 0.8. So normally represented like this. So all tool signature is representing like this. I think for clear to understanding, maybe this is given in here. The same pictures, whatever you have seen previously. This is the side view. This is the front view. This is the side view, and this is the top view. The top view is supposed to be here. So as per engineering drawing, but for convenient, maybe they shifted here, right? So these are the same images, whatever you have seen. So normally remember tool signature also people may ask you in the exam. So tool signature, explain about tool signature. What is tool signature? So what is the different terms in tool signature? So you need to write, if any question is coming, you need to write the answers. So 7 terms will be there in every tool signature. Yes?
1/32 ब्रैकेट 0.8 का मतलब समझ में नहीं आया सर.
नहीं 1/32
radius
जो
के बाद.
yes actually 1/32 जो है ना actually he is mentioning about in inches actually this I need to remove it. This is confusing you. You forget about this 1/32. 1/32 छोड़ दो आप.
Okay sir. 0.8 degree.
Yes,
Nose
0.8 mm. Yeah, nose radius है.
mm.
Nose radius is
Okay,
in
sir.
mm.
That is the tip of the cutting tool, no sir.
Yes, tip of the cutting.
This is the cut.
The tip of the cutting tool normally sharp. We try to avoid the sharp. So to avoid the stress concentration, so what we need to do, we need to grind it. मतलब थोड़ा उसको filleting देना है वहाँ पर. तो वो filleting we need to give some radius of curvature, right? तो radius of curvature कितना है उसका? So that is called your nose radius. तो यहाँ पर just you see it here. Yes, this is one edge. ये दिख रहा है ना इधर?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
So this is one edge, this is one cutting edge, end cutting edge, and this is the side cutting edge. So this end cutting edge, side cutting edge is meeting at this particular point, right? अगर इसको ऐसी sharp, if it is like sharp, there is a stress concentration is happened, and this sharp edge is going to be wear out. To avoid that, so what we used to do, we used to grind it, and we used to make some kind of curvature here. यहाँ पर देखो ये sharp edge meet ना हो रहा है, rectangle ना होता है. यहाँ पर थोड़ा kind of we need to give some kind of curvature is giving. So this
Yes, sir.
radius of this is considering as this here. So 0.8 mm, right? It has to be given mm. So yeah, actually nose radius is inches. So maybe you see here. So 1/32 is inches. So 1/32 inches we need to give into if mm में convert करेंगे तो 0.8 mm आ रहा हो. So normally first 6 terms is angles, last term is in dimension. मतलब linear dimension. That is maybe radius. So वो inches में या फिर mm में declare करते हैं, right? If it is SI system, it is mm. If it is MKS system, it is inches. Right? Is it clear?
सर तो ये एंगल्स बनाते वक्त यूज होती है
Yes. Angles.
ये एंगल्स आप जो 10 20 है जो नंबर्स है ना सर
Yeah.
ये कटिंग टूल मेट करते वक्त में यूज होते हैं नहीं दूसरे कौन से भी डायमेंशन का बना सकते हैं
नहीं कुछ तो कौन से भी दूसरे डायमेंशन का नहीं बनाते. एक्चुअली कटिंग टूल जो है डिपेंडिंग अपॉन विच मटेरियल यू आर यूजिंग, सो वी नीड टू हैव प्रॉपर एंगल्स. अब फॉर एग्जांपल आप माइल्ड स्टील को मशीन कर रहे हो तो हाई स्पीड स्टील के सम एंगल्स आर रिक्वायर्ड, right? So if it is same material, if you're using if it's same cutting tool, if you're using for other material, maybe your that forces may change. To avoid that forces, you need to maintain these angles. So जो angle है, for example, back rake angle is given for particular tool. ये एक cutting tool है, उसका back rake angle 10 डिग्री है, उसका side rake angle 20 degrees, and its end relief angle 7 degrees, its side relief angle 6 degrees, end cutting edge angle 8 degrees, and side cutting edge angle is 15 degrees, right? So this nomenclature is available in the market. Now you want a cutting tool where you need to have a back rake angle is 15 degrees you want, right? हमारे 15 degrees चाहिए. आपके कैलकुलेशन से, आपके डिजाइन पैरामीटर से, आपका डिजाइन ये डिसाइड करे हैं कि बैक रेक एंगल इफ इट इज हैविंग 15 degrees, your material is smoothly machined with less energy, with less force. Then what you will do? So this tool you not need to purchase because यहाँ पर बैक रेक एंगल 10 डिग्री है. So you need to have your designer or the prescribed, or you calculated that your cutting tool has to have back rake angle of 15 degrees. Then you need to go for other cutting tool. तो cutting tool जब आप परचेस करते हैं मार्केट में तो उसके ऊपर ये पूरे लिखा हुआ रहता है उस पर. और कोई अगर कभी भी नेक्स्ट टाइम कभी मार्केट में जाएंगे, कभी कटिंग टूल की शॉप में जाएंगे तो देखो उसमें जो कटिंग टूल आप खरीद रहे हैं वो कटिंग टूल एक्चुअली नॉर्मली क्या है बोलते तो प्लास्टिक के कवर में आता, तो कवर के ऊपर ऑल द स्पेसिफिकेशन विल बी देयर. So what are the first specification is mentioning about rake angle. Normally rake angle is the most important angle in our calculations. The force calculation जो भी आता है rake angle पे depend करता है. That to back rake angle is most important. I told you back rake angle normally we are following 15 degrees, but here back rake angle is coming 10 degrees. So if it is fine for your application, you can go. But normally 10 degrees ना हम use नहीं करते. हमारे को 15 degrees चाहिए. So this cutting tool may not be useful for our machining. We can cut, but what happened? Your finish you are not getting properly, or your machine consumption, the power consumption is higher for on your machine. अगर आपको power consumption कम होना है, so you need to have less force. Less force होना है तो you need to go for this as per this specification, right? Is this clear?
Yes sir.
Okay, we can go for next. So this is next point, next topic in this single point cutting tool. This is the typical single point cutting tool. You see, whenever you are inserting the cutting tool, the lathe, whatever is there, so material is coming out in this. So this you see, this is the material, this is the workpiece, right? This is the raw material, and this is the finished surface. Whenever the material is coming, you see this is the back rake angle. Whatever the back rake angle you see. So this is your face of the material. So face of the material is nothing but on which the chip is flowing. So this is the face. So this face is making some inclination. So this angle is called as this is nothing but your back rake angle. Yes. So this back rake angle is very important in machining. So normally this whatever the T naught matlab depth of cut. So how much thickness of material you are removing for the workpiece is considering as a T naught. So T naught is nothing but your depth of cut. So depth of cut mein bola tha na starting of this class. So whatever the material you're penetrating into the workpiece. So how much thickness you're advancing your cutting tool is called as a depth of cut. Normally depth of cut is equal to your T naught, initial thickness of workpiece, initial thickness of the workpiece, T naught. So initial thickness, but what happened when you are introducing the cutting tool, there is a deformation happening in the material, right? So deformation, this portion is called as the shear portion. So shear is happening in the material. So normally deformation happened by shear. You studied in your mechanics of solids. So what is in the shear? Shear किसको बोलते हैं? In mechanics
Wear
of
and tear.
shear, not tear, wear and tear. It is, I am calling it as a shear. So you studied two different kind of forces, shear force as well as normal force, or tensile force and shear force you studied, right?
Contacting force.
So shear is nothing but when any deformation happening parallel to or nothing but in the direction of force applied. So जब force apply कर रहे उस direction में deformation हो रहा है, that is called as a shear. If deformation happening is perpendicular, then it is called as a normal deformation or normal deformation you used to call a tensile deformation. Tensile or compression deformation or tensile and compression stresses are normal stresses. Whereas the shear stress is nothing but which force is applied parallel to the surface is called as a shear stress. So in the shear stress direction, if any deformation is called, so here you see force is applied, right? Force is applied, and whatever the even though force is applied here, but force is acting in this direction, so parallel to this direction. So because of that, your deformation of the material is happening here. देखो यहाँ तक वर्कपीस में है, but यहाँ पर material deform होके it is converting in the form of a chip and coming out on the tool. So this is happening how? Because you are introducing a cutting tool in this, right? यहाँ पर when you are introducing cutting tool, you see when cutting tool is here, it is moving from here, it is start on moving. When it is moving forward, whatever the material, when cutting tool is here also it having some material, right? So it's already having this kind of material is there in this.
Sir, ये rack angle का mean क्या है sir? Rack angle means the
Rack
tip
angle,
of the
rack angle already I've given, just now I told you. Rake angle is nothing but angle of this, whatever the face. So what is this? This is nothing but cutting edge, right? So the cutting edge is consisting, it's perpendicular to this cutting edge. If you take, you need to have some face. So this face, this is the one surface. So this surface we used to call as a face. Face is nothing but on which this whatever the chip is there, it is flowing, right? This is called face. So this face, how much inclined with the vertical is called as a rake angle. So यहाँ पर जो angle दिख रहा है ना, so this alpha is the rake angle, right? So rake angle is nothing but this face of the cutting tool, how much inclined with your horizontal plane, and here it's vertical plane, because this tool is not stationary, this tool is working. So your cutting tool is somewhere like this, right? So cutting tool आपका ऐसा रहता, right? So normally like this. If you come to the previous case, in this case, if you say this is your rake angle, right? So here is cutting tool is like this. So it is a stationary. So this whatever the inclination is there, this face of the cutting tool with the horizontal plane, this angle is called as a rake angle or nothing but back rake angle. Same angle is there here. So same thing is there here, because previously it was in stationary wounding. अच्छा horizontal में surface पे था, यहाँ पर here it is in vertical plane, so it is maybe mounted on a machine tool, and it is like this. So this is a typical cutting tool. So whatever the inclination is there, so this is your rake angle. So this is the shear rake angle, right? Is it clear? Rake angle?
yeah sir, thank you sir.
So this actually in this workpiece, you see initially workpiece is like this, right? So यहाँ पर when you are working, tool is there here. So what happened? It is as tool is gradually moving down, moving this direction. So this is removing the material. See, whatever the material is there is removing the form of a chip. When it's coming here, so this process is continuous. You see here when it's coming here, your cutting tool, the nothing but your nose. So this is nothing but your nose, right? So nose are nothing but cutting tip. So this cutting tip consisting of cutting edges, right? This is your primary cutting edge. So this tip, when it is there, it is penetrating into the material, and here it's applying some kind of shear forces on the layer of the material. When applying the shear force, so this force is diverting in this direction. So any force you need to resolve the two perpendicular directions, right? Normal stress as well as two perpendicular directions, right? So this is one force, and here in this direction you are having one more force, right? So this force, whichever is there, this is a shear force. This shearing the material. Because of this shear force, so whatever the layer of material is there, it is deforming at this particular point. So deforming, and this is coming out, right? So coming out and it's flowing, because this is deforming at this, and this is when this cutting tool is penetrating. So this, because of this penetration, so this layer of material is separated from this layer of the material, right? So this is a lump of material, मतलब एक बड़ा material है, उसके अंदर ऊपर top layer में छोटा layer of material you are removing small layer of material. So this is maybe a 0.5 mm, or maybe it is at 0.2 mm, right? And this material is very big material, lump of material is there. So from this material, removing a small thickness of material, removing. How this is removing? By penetrating this sharp tool here, so you are applying some kind of shear forces on this. So because of this shear force, so this material, whichever is there, it is deforming and coming out from this. Because once this layer of material is separated from this, so ye layer of material, when it is separated, what happened? It is coming out, because here you having a cutting tool, so this material cannot go from this direction, right? So it has to go on the surface only. So it is coming on the surface and it is coming out in the form of a chip. So like this, the chips are separated. As this cutting tool is moving further forward, so this kind of forces are maybe applied throughout this length of the material. Then whatever the material is there, every material, as tools move forward, so this material is coming out from this material, and it is coming out in the form of a chip, and finally you're going to get the chip, right? So these things are happening in cutting of the material. So cutting is happening because of shear forces acting by the cutting tool on the workpiece, right? So that's why this portion, so this portion used to call as the shear portion. This is shear zone, right? So that is a two-dimensional view is shown. So this is a typical three-dimensional view. So just you see it here. So this is your rake angle, and this is called as a rake face, or nothing but face of the tool. So this is the typical tool, right? So this completely tool is some typical shape is given in this. So tools are sometimes like this also, it is there. So like this kind of tools also there. So in this tool, this is the rake angle, right? So this is the rake angle. So in this rake angle, this is called as a shear angle. So actually not shear angle, it's a shear angle, because this is the plane where shear is happening in the material. Shear is nothing but deformation in the material. So this plane is called as the shear plane. So whatever the inclination of this plane with the direction of cutting tool motion is called as the shear angle. So these things maybe we can discuss further in next class also. Just you remember this. So this is the shear plane, and this angle is considering as a shear angle. And this initially, whatever the thickness is there, this I told you, this is a depth of cut, right? So this is considering as the depth of cut or uncut chip thickness. So some books it's mentioning as uncut chip, because chip is, if it is coming out from this, it's called as a chip, right? But here this chip is coming out from this material only. So this is cut chip. So after cutting, chip is coming out. That's why this is called as a chip. So it's not called as a cut chip. It's called as a cut chip only. But this is nothing but we can use to call it as an uncut chip also. So this, whatever the thickness is there, is called as the depth of cut, cutting depth, are also called as the uncut chip thickness. And this is your relief angle. I told you about relief angle, right? So this is a typical relief angle. So because of this angle, you see your workpiece is not rubbing your tool. So this is the tool and this is the workpiece, right? So your tool is not rubbing with the workpiece. So this is a typical clearance angle requirement. If it is, just assume, if clearance angle is not there, so this tool, if it is contact with this workpiece, then definitely there is some kind of wear is happened on the tool as well as on the workpiece. So this is the importance of clearance angle. And this surface, because once his machining is done, so this surface is considering as a machine surface, or nothing but finished surface. And this is coming out, this used to called as a chip. So this is a typical tool and this is a typical workpiece, right? So this is a typical, this is in previous slide, it is showing as a cutting tool in 2-dimensional. So this is showing as a cutting tool in 3-dimensional. And theory of metal cutting, I think maybe already I will complete with this just 1-2 slides. With these 2 slides I will complete for today's lecture. So give me some time. So metal cutting or machining is the process of producing a workpiece by removing unwanted material from the block of metal in the form of a chips. This we have seen in last class. Remember, machining means removing or cutting the unwanted material from the blank or from the workpiece or from the raw material. So this process is most important since almost all the products get their final shape and size by metal removal, either directly or indirectly. So I told you last class, every material at the end, almost 70 to 75% of the material at the end, you need to do the finishing process. So the finishing mostly doing by the machining process. So here a typical chip is there. So cutting chip, whatever you have seen in the previous slide, the same thing is there. So this is the rake angle, and this is the clearance angle, this is the workpiece, and this is the chip. What is coming out from this is considering as a chip. I told you the chip rake angle may be sometime negative also there. So here if you take, so rake angle is positive, even sometimes rake angle negative also there. So this, if it is a coming this rake surface, whatever the surface or face of the tool is projecting, instead of coming here, normally in every tool, normally it is coming like this, right? Like this it will be there. So whatever is there, this angle is considering as a positive angle. But here that angle is not there. It's even if it is coming here, so you need to have you have a rake angle of 0. But here what happened? Your material cutting phase is coming here. It is extending the line. So that's why this angle is coming other direction. So this type of angle is called as the negative rake angle. So rake angle only, but it is in a negative, minus value is there. So this is a typical cutting edge. So which is there? This is a typical cutting edge. So this cutting edge only applying forces on the workpiece, and this is a typical shear plane. So from this material deforming or nothing but shearing is happening in the metal. And
Sir, what is the use of negative rake angle, sir?
yes, in some time, you see, in some material we need to have a negative rake angle. Like if you say, if you want to machine a high speed steel with some material, right? High speed steel compare with high carbon steel. Sorry, if it is the machining, you have a tool of high carbon steel, you having a material of high carbon steel, you don't have high speed steel and don't have other thing. In that case, with that we need to machine a particular material. So in that case, what you used to have, you need to have strength of high carbon steel is less than strength of high speed steel, right? So in that case, you need to provide a negative rake angle. By providing negative rake angle, what we will do, we will increasing the strength of the cutting tool. Just you imagine, so if this portion is there, so obviously your strength of the material is less. So normally for negative rake angle, you positive rake angle, strength of the material, strength of the cutting tool is less. Sometimes you need to have higher strength, then you need to give a negative rake angle. You see this portion and complete with this gray portion, which is having more strength. Obviously gray portion, right? It having a more cross-sectional area, it having more volume of the material. That's why it having more strength. So wherever you want to have high strength, then you need to have a positive rake angle. No, sorry, negative rake angle. But normal material, this normal material normally we're using because we are using a strong materials only for cutting tool. In that case, we used to go for negative rake angle. If we go for negative rake angle, whatever the force, if you're going for positive rake angle, even though your tool is stronger, but you need to apply more force for the deformation. If it is a negative rake angle, remember negative rake angle tool is stronger, but it need to apply more force for the cutting of the material for negative rake angle. Opposite, if it is a positive rake angle, your cutting tool is weaker compared with negative rake angle because cross-sectional area is decreasing. So whatever you have seen in your slide, so it's less. But whatever the force you need to apply for cut the material is less. So negative rake angle, applying force is more, but tool is stronger. Positive rake angle, applying force for cutting is less, but strength of the material is also less. So these two difference will be there for positive rake angle and negative rake angle. I hope, is it clear your answer?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So just my last slide. So chip formation, how chip is forming, already I told you. So when this cutting tool is moving forward, so you in cutting action involve shear deformation of the work material to form a chip. So chip is forming by shear deformation of the top layer of the material. So whatever the layer of this material is there, whatever the uncut chip is there, so this is deforming at this particular point. So this is called as the shear zone. So in shear zone, material is deforming and it is coming out on the surface of the tool. So this is called as the face of the tool, and from this it is coming out. So cutting action involves the shear deformation of the work material to form a chip. As the chip is removed, new surface is exposed. Obviously, when chip is coming out, so here you see the new surface is coming. So this new surface is called as a machine surface. Mechanics of metal cutting is greatly depending upon the shape and size of the chip formed. So these chips are different sizes and different shapes of the chip is depends. So your finishing. So finishing of this is depending upon the chip, and this chip size and dimension is depending upon your cutting tool and its rake angle. So this, in this way, rake angle is very important. So rake angle will control the force coming on the workpiece, and as well as the finish of the workpiece is controlled by the rake angles. So fine. So I hope you understand this, and different types of chips and all these things. Maybe you can see in the next class. So I hope here you can clear in this today's subject. So anybody having any doubt, please ask me.
Sir, once can you share that slide on screen, sir? Definitions of angle.
Okay. Yes, this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, actually these definitions are there from your textbook. In your textbook, I've taken the definitions from your textbook only. So you can take, if you want, you can note down. If you want, you can take a screenshot. But remember, whatever you're taking the screenshot, please transfer this information in your class notes. Any question from today's class? Any questions? So today we discuss about single point cutting tool, multi-point cutting tool, and single point cutting tool geometry we discussed today. So different kind of angles, different parameters, and also tool signature. So tool signature we discussed today, right?
Sir, at what situation the cutting tool may break also?
Yes, cutting tool may break if whatever the force is applied is exceeding to whatever its strength. If you're applying more force, for example, the thickness of thickness of material, whatever you are removing. So you need to have some small thickness. You need to give somewhere about 0.1 mm or maybe 0.05 mm, maybe 50 micron or 100 micron. Right, 100 micron means 0.5 mm. If you're giving 100 micron or 50 micron, your force coming on the cutting tool is less. Instead of that, if you're giving some depth of cut is somewhere about 1 mm or maybe 2 mm, you're giving a depth of cut. Then what happened? Your material removal is almost how much? 2 mm means it's almost 2000 micron. If you're giving 2000 micron thickness, if you're removing, so obviously when the material is higher, the force coming on the tool is higher. So because of high force acting on the tool, so your tool is going to break. So that's why we need to be careful when giving depth of cut. Right? If you're giving more depth
Okay.
of cut, your material is going to, your tool is going to break. Any other question? So no questions? So I'm not seeing much student attending in the classes. So only 37 students are there now. So when I started the class at that time, after 10 minutes, I told you 10 minutes time, right? Only 17 students was there. So please inform to your friends to attend the classes regularly, right? So I'm stopping now. So maybe next class I'm going to ask you that rake angles, whatever the rake angles we discussed today, and geometry of the cutting tool. I'm going to ask in first 10 minutes. So please, everybody, go through your textbook, go through your class notes, or go through your whatever the screenshots are there. Please go through it. So
Sir, once again, you just share the book link, no sir, on a group.
okay, again I will share you the in your group. Book link I will
Thank you,
going to share after this. Okay. Okay, I'm stopping. If anybody want to note down. Maybe otherwise you can leave from the class and attend for next class at 12 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.